What's up guys, Chris here with Strength and Steel Reviews, certified personal trainer and chronic overspender. Today we're getting into the truth about the REP Athena versus the REP Adonis. These are two of REP's most premium products. Both of them happen to live in my garage and both of them are impressive in their own ways. Now I've owned and trained with both long enough to know their strengths and their weaknesses. And here's the reality, you probably, and I do emphasize, probably don't need both. In this video, I'll tell you which one I'd keep if I had to choose only one. I will also explain why I actually do own both and help you figure out which of the two makes the most sense for you if you're trying to decide between them. Let's get into it. First, a little context. I bought this at Disney Springs and everyone loves it. If you hate it, let me know in the comments. Second, I train alone. I train for hypertrophy, as in I train to build muscle, and I prefer separate stations rather than all-in-one setups. I own the selectorized versions of both the REP Athena and the Adonis, meaning that I have both of them running with full weight stacks. The Athena, I use it almost every single day. The Adonis, I hit several times a week, mostly for pull work. Now I've spent a lot of time with both, and with the Adonis I've even put together a full 6-month review that you can check out and I will link below in the description. Okay, let's begin with price, because these are both expensive pieces of equipment, but one is certainly pricier than the other. My REP Athena Power Rack with the side mounted functional trainers cost me about $4,200 when I initially ordered it. With the tariff set in place and Rep's price adjustments since then, it's probably even more today. The Adonis, meanwhile, starts at around $2,000 for the base unit, but once you add the Pegasus seat, those selectorized weight stacks, and the standalone base, like I did, you're looking at something closer to about $2,800 to $3,000. So yeah, to emphasize again, neither of these are cheap. The Athena sits at the higher end as a centerpiece investment, while the Adonis comes in at a bit lower, but still sits firmly in premium territory. Hopefully you knew that before sitting down to watch me flap my gums. If you didn't, well, surprise. Okay, next we must naturally discuss build quality. Now, both of these pieces are beauties. REP is known for their build quality, and I can assure you that they succeed in meeting their own standards here. I've never once stepped into my gym, looked at either the Athena or the Adonis, and not felt a little wave of appreciation for just having them here. They're statement pieces as much as they are training tools. The names themselves might sound a little lofty, maybe even a touch high-handed, but the equipment does back it up. If you've got expectations, they will almost certainly meet them. And just so you know, I did buy both of these pieces with my own money. REP didn't send them my way, though believe me, I would not have complained if they had. And if you're interested in checking them out yourself, links are below in the description. Support the channel. The Athena is the workhorse of my gym. It's built from 3x3 11 gauge steel, and it's fully customizable with REP's color options, which is nice. Mine's matte black and it's green, and I've decked the stacks out with these plate snacks decals because, in my opinion, if you're gonna stare at it every day, it should look pretty damn nice. It's rugged, it's modular, and overall this rack is built for abuse. The Adonis though, the Adonis is the showpiece. It's the same 3x3 11 gauge steel, but it's dressed up with powder coated steel shrouds, silver trim, and REP's cleanest finish to date, in my opinion. These shrouds don't irritate me at all, and they let me slap on my magnetic hooks, which you've seen my channel, you know I prize and cherish greatly. And in this case, they are infinitely more practical than REP's half-hearted pegboard panels. The pegboard does look cool, but it's tiny and it doesn't hold much. In my opinion, REP should have gone much bigger here. But again, overall, there's no doubt both are just beautiful. REP's quality on all of their equipment continues to astound me. Okay, now let us discuss functionality, because I would say this is where their roles most clearly diverge. The Athena is my daily driver. It's a functional trainer / power rack, and it runs a 2-to-1 pulley ratio. I use it every day for presses, flies, curls, basically everything you would expect from a functional trainer / power rack. Now, because the functional trainer is built into the rack, transitions here feel seamless between cable work and barbell work. And for hypertrophy training, this is my bread and butter. If there is a foundational piece in my gym, some silent steel king or I guess in this case a queen, that presides over everything, it would be the Athena. The Adonis, meanwhile, plays the role of a specialist. At its heart, it is a lat pull down / low row station with a little extra, and that little extra is a 2-to-1 accessory trolley. On paper, that is what makes this special. It adds a lot of versatility for accessory work. And because it is a 2-to-1 ratio trolley, that means that you're pulling half the weight of the stack. Meanwhile, the low row / lat pull down function is pulling with a 1-to-1 ratio, which means you are pulling the full weight indicated on the stack. But swapping between the two is undeniably useful, especially if you don't already have a functional trainer. That said, for functional trainer work, I reach for the Athena almost every single time. The Pegasus seat weighs nearly 47 pounds, which makes it way too heavy, at least for me, to shuffle in and out comfortably, so I just leave it there for lat pull downs. That also means that I'm rarely sliding that trolley very low. Now, overall, I really like having this separate station. That was actually my thinking when I skipped the Aries 2.0. I did not want a crowded, all-in-one rig where everything felt crammed together. I still feel that way. I like this separation, but the Adonis, I guess, ultimately does feel very premium, beautiful, but a little bit of overkill. Something else to keep in mind, the Adonis is not as wide or as imposing as the Athena, but let's not kid ourselves. It is still massive. REP sells it with or without these base feet, and yes, you can connect it into their rack ecosystem, but even as a standalone, it eats up some serious space. It looks incredible, it performs well, and I really do enjoy having it. But if I'm being honest with myself, the functionality of the trolley, that addition, isn't totally necessary, which I will discuss soon. And this rowing platform, it's good, but it wobbles a little bit. Still, it offers me a great stretch on my lats, which is nice, something I feared I would not have. Both of these machines function really well. They feel very satisfying to use, especially if you're using them a lot. So which of these two pretty things is right for you? At the end of the day, you're not making a bad choice here either way. Both machines are beautifully built, smooth to use, and carry REP's premium feel. The real question is how you train and the role you want your cables to play in your setup. If you want a do-it-all functional trainer that integrates seamlessly into a rack and gets used every single day, go with the Athena. If you don't already own cables and want a premium pull down and row station with some bonus versatility, the Adonis can definitely serve as that centerpiece. But if you're like me and already have a functional trainer, the Adonis quickly becomes more about aesthetics and redundancy than necessity. So my advice, I would start with the Athena and then add the Adonis if you've got the space, the budget, and that itch for a premium specialty piece, because it is really pretty. And if you're looking for a lat pull down / low row and you've got the money to spend, I would get it anyway, especially if you have the space. Otherwise, keep it simple, save your money, and let the Athena carry the bulk of the load. And hey, if you own either of these, or if you're thinking about picking one up, drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear how you're using yours. If this breakdown helped you out, like it, subscribe, all the things that YouTubers say. And as always, stay strong, stay steely, and I will catch you in the next one. Adios.